What are the mistakes that you're making, or what that I'm making specifically, even in games where we get a lot of kills? So we got a few quick fights coming up here in Pleasant, and part of what happens here, I think, is what stops me from being a great player and just being a good average Champions League player, um, is that some of my mistakes here, they work, right? So since they work, I continue to do them because it's like positive feedback. But in reality, they're bad plays. So we'll go through here. There's going to be a bunch up front, um, about like when you have good aim, you can kind of get away with a lot of stuff, even if you're playing poorly. So first we land doghouse because there's 3 chests, and we land doghouse like everybody else. And from here, we know we hear people over at bunker. And since we hear him at bunker, we decide to go push, right? Early game decision. Really get it from a Roadie Bros video where people spend too much time farming and matting, when really when you have a decent loadout, and I think here I have a blue pump, um, you really should start looking for kills early, or looking for eliminations early. So this is really the first mistake I make here. We'll pause as we get into it. So this person comes, and we'll slow it down. Like thankfully here, like the first thing I did was build, which is like a hard thing for me to get used to, not just like immediately shoot the person. But I'm gonna get in a pump fight with this person and do a bunch of dumb things. So one, I didn't protect my head there, right? So I'm jumping into a 50-50 potential shotgun fight, whereas I should know he's gonna ramp over, either place something over the head or do a double ramp. But just doing the single ramp here is waiting to get shot. I end up blocking it off because I realized the mistake that I'm making, but still, like, not the smartest thing I've done. And I think that's his wood wall in front of mine, but maybe not. So I break it out, which is nice. But here I have height, right? And the thing that I've been trying to tell myself more than anything else is when you have height, don't unnecessarily give up height. You can look for AR shots, you can look for SMG shots. I think I have both in this instance. You can look for pump shots because the pump has decent range. But instead, the mistake I do is what everybody does pretty much is I drop down to try to 50-50 a pump fight. And here specifically, when I go to do it, I can easily place a ramp here, take a pump shot, and keep height. But instead, I drop down. I look for the right-hand peak at least, but there's no reason for me to ever go back on the ground once I have height. Because I've dropped down, a person already has a chance to get over me, and it wouldn't have been an issue if I would have just placed floors there. But he comes down, and then I'm fighting him on his level. And again, when you have good aim, you can kind of get away with a lot of stuff, and that's really what happens here. Like the good thing I keep doing is I keep doing right-hand peeks, right? I'm always trying to get from the right-hand side, but in reality, if he was a better player, he gets above, and then I have to box fight, whereas I could have stopped all that just by, placing floors and ramps in that early position. So here I get the kill, and almost the exact same fight breaks out. Person comes to my left, and I think here I actually take a left-hand peek, which is even the worst thing to do, where I could immediately start building if I needed to. Again, though, because you got good aim, you take the left-hand peek, you take the jump, you hit him with the pump for a lot of damage, and you feel like you're doing something right, where every part about that double elimination was wrong. And I got people throwing grenades at me, so I know I'm back in the fight again. Trying to figure out what weapons to pick up. Didn't even see that person. And this is another mistake I make, actually, is that I think when you're in a fight, you shouldn't be looking for new loot, right? Like, you're sure for health if you need it, but at this point, I'm still back at 100. There's no shields around. Like, just fight with what you have. Like, going around looking for stuff, I feel like I got lucky because they were fighting each other. But in reality, what could have happened here is they could have pushed me, and I could have got shot while I was looking for stuff. So one of the things I've really been trying to focus on is not trying to pick up new loot in the middle of fights. Throughout this whole thing, I'm ignoring the fight that just happened in front of me, and finally I'm like, oh yeah, there were people over there. I should probably go do something about that. Here I build. I take a really bad snipe shot. At least I tried to snipe him. My sniping aim isn't all that great, but I took a shot. And again, there, I just like opened myself up. Like, I just stepped to the right of that wall, in which if he was paying attention, he could have shot me. And there was no reason to do so, right? I'm reloading. Stay covered while you load. Like, why jump to the side? At this point, I'm feeling like, you know what, I'm pretty good with my pump, so I'm feeling confident. But again, like right there, could have built up. Instead, I'm staying in the low ground and I'm forcing this person to come fight me. Did a good job of blocking off my ceiling. He drops, and again, I wasn't really worried about the drop because my aim is good, but I could easily got just hit hard there. Fortunately, that guy just missed his shot. Again, standing out in the open, that person did the right thing with the right-hand peek. They just missed their shot. Fortunately, I was looking for mine. But it's not a good angle to take. It's just not the right move. Scuff an edit or two here. And if I would have got that edit cleanly, I think it would have been fine. But, you know, just kind of took too long. Was really rushing into his series of boxes, which is never smart. But fortunately, the good aim worked. So the next one here, simple snipe. Although it took me 2 shots because I'm bad with a sniper, and then we'll go into what the rest of the match looks like. And, you know, from here, it's pretty much to just loot the rest of Pleasant and try to get mats. One thing, you know, I go down to try to get all the henchmen and whatnot, and I end up coming out with not more than 150 health. So I always wonder if, like, going after the henchmen is a good idea, because I feel like they do more damage than they're worth. So here I do want to back up a little bit before this fight. And one thing I noticed in one of the Game League videos, I think it's done by Speed Dota, is he talked about like paying attention to everything in the map, and this is like people don't do that well enough. And an example he used is I think it's in the video 5 Simple Tips to Die Less, is people building walls that lead into bushes, right? So if I go back a little bit, you can see as we're flying in, so as we're flying in, we can see those builds being made. So we know the person's probably hanging out in the bush. So rather than just flying by, I figured the person's probably low in health if they're building like that, and then we'll probably know where they are. I don't have explosives, but you can go take a shot at it. Taking a few random shots at the bush. just because I might get lucky, and no one really expects it. He was in the bushes, none of those hit. Not really sure how. Also, sometimes people just start complaining that you're a controller player, and anything that can set people off, even if I wasn't a controller player, is always helpful. I do like having, I do like getting people angry to start. So right here, we hear the person. We hear him in the bush, but we didn't actually see him jump like that, even though we can clearly see it in the video. We missed it in the actual fight. Maybe we didn't miss it. But again, one of the things I thought about here was, and it was really the first time I thought about it, was if someone's hiding in a bush like that, like you can pickaxe the bush, right? Like you can just break the bush down. And that's one less bush that he has to hide. He can hide from, and for whatever reason, because I started doing it, it got him to run. Right? Hears the pickaxe, assumes, I don't know what he assumes, but ends up pulling him out of the other bush just because I spent a little time breaking this one. Here, and I don't know how many times I have to teach myself this before I will actually implement it, there's no reason for me to go down. Right? I have height. I can take shots from height. I can AR, I can shotgun, whatever. I think I have like a gold pump now, which is probably why I was pushing, because I have a gold pump. But like, there's no reason for me to drop down. And the first thing I do, give up height again for no reason. Now he's right beneath me, and I'm feeling confident with my pump shots, obviously, because we've already killed 4 people. So I'm gonna try to get the pump shot here, but like I do all the wrong things. Like first I dropped, and then I do a left-hand peek. Like if this person's good, when I turn the corner, he just pumps me right in the head, and I'm dead. Like for 200 or however much he has. Like this is a bad fight. Fortunately, my aim's really good at that moment in time, although the replay's funky. I ended up hitting that person for like 190 with the gold pump. But again, dumb fight. Shouldn't have done it. Here I hear someone else pushing me, and this is one of the things that I actually did pretty well. Like I think this is like the first kill or first elimination where I think I did a good job. And part of the lesson here that I have is when someone's obnoxiously spraying your wall with an SMG or an AR and they're trying to get in, and they don't seem like they have any patience, and they're not like standing back, they're just running into it, I just let them in, right? Because one, I can let them in and take a clean, free pump shot, and 2, I can just immediately place a wall and protect myself again, which is what I do here, and then I can make the edit and just take them out pretty quickly. But again, of the 5 kills so far, this is going to be the first good one. First, we protected. Actually, apparently I didn't do it with the SMG. I made the edit the first to let him through, and then did the reset anyways. But the same logic applies, right? Like, whether they're pushing or if they're coming up against the wall and they're gonna do something, if you can get them to come in your box, do an edit or something else of the sort, you can often get a free shot in, and then they're in your pieces, and you get free shots on them all day. So see, he did shoot. Okay, I feel a little bit better about that. Thought I went crazy. So I heard that person shoot at the wall that I built, and therefore I was like, either he's gonna keep pushing, switch over to the SMG or something, but I'm gonna get a free shot here so I can quickly make the edit. Oh, he did break my wall. Okay, I really feel really better about that. So he immediately broke my wall, started coming through, and I was like, just let him in, and I basically put him in my own box after that. And from there, you can, you can take free shots, and it's one of those simple things to learn. Like just because someone's shooting at your wall doesn't mean you need to hold it. A lot of times, if you can get close to the wall and you can pop out the other side, let him break it, take the shot, replace the wall, and then all of a sudden they're stuck in your box. So that's kind of like normally my game. Lots of pump shots, lots of pump kills. I mean, we had a sniper in there, but like outside of that, it's a shotgun. One of the things I kind of liked was the rest of the game didn't necessarily play out that way. I mean, this fight did for sure, but they don't all, which I was pretty happy about. Trying to go back a little bit to get this whole fight in because this actually is pretty good. So here, after those two earlier fights, we've come to the agency to get height to see if we can get any free kills. And this just shows you how bad I am with an AR and a sniper. And I guess it's worth mentioning that like know your strengths in the game, right? Because I know I struggled to get the champions for a while, but I basically have gotten the champions just for the shotgun. I've really been focusing on my AR and sniper, but as you can see here, it's definitely not a strength of my game. Just takes too long. Waiting for first shot accuracy just doesn't work. Same thing here. Clean shot. Think, hey, why don't you just shoot him? Like everything about that was so wrong. One, I like hid to switch to my AR. I should have just used my AR immediately. Two, I'm just standing out in the open, like while that person in front of me could just turn and start shooting at me. Like I don't have any cover. Like it's bad. At least I blocked my head there, and I was like, "Ooh, I have a good angle." It's like someone's gonna come and get me from the top, but at least I had the moment to protect my head. Here, another missed snipe. Another missed snipe. Another couple of poor AR shots, and here, like, I don't know why I just don't stick with the AR. But I decided, it'd be fun. Let's pull out the sniper rifle and see if we can get another miss shot. Here it goes. Attempted poor sniping, miss shot, and 3. Oh, that time I didn't even take the shot. So I was pretty happy about this because again, with shotguns, I'm a pretty good box fighter. And that's really how I win this fight. I mean, there's nothing. I think I take a left-hand peek here at some point, which is not smart. But it's basic box fighting. Window edits, hit your shots, win the game. You can't always build another box, but I knew that was out from earlier. So you take the shot and move on. And here, at some point when you feel good with the shotgun, and you're in a close-up box fight, and you know the person's missed you once, and you've hit him twice. Like I hit that person for 100 and 230. Like I don't know how much more health he could have had. At that point I was just tired. I was like, I'm going in again. Got a pretty sick loadout here. Here I have I don't know what AR I have. I feel like it's golden. I feel like one of those people I picked up a golden AR, but I have a golden shotgun. No. Yeah. I have the pew pew gun, I think. Off this person, I have the mythic pew pew gun, the drum gun, and a gold pump, which gets and a purple sniper, which kind of gets out of control, and it just accelerates from there. So here, I basically, long story short, I took the whole chopper, blew up some stuff to heal, and then I go to get into this fight, and this is kind of nuts, right? Because I see some people fighting, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'd love to third party it, and I totally misread this. So I know they're fighting, and like did not see that person coming to me at all. So here I end up getting like super lucky, mainly because this person missed their shot, but and also because I end up hitting mine, and it turns into like a minor box fight. But again, track your enemies a little bit better here. Here I just let someone just get super close to me while I have a sniper rifle, just from not actually tracking. But as always, you box up, person gets in my box. High pump damage as always, always good to practice your shotguns. Finish with the drum gun, gold pump, mythic drum gun, not much you can do there. And the rest of this game is pretty straightforward. We're gonna get into one more fight here, and then it's just like mythic minigun to finish it off. Which that part I play well because I play the rotation. But this one, this upcoming fight is the last good kill, and mainly what I do well here is I remember to always protect my head. So here we go to get in the fight, and somehow I don't know that he's above me. Again, bad tracking. Heard him, but again, that person has free shots over me. That person had free shots over me the entire time because I wasn't protecting my head, and kind of at the last second I realized, oh, I should probably protect my head. Thankfully I did, because he has a rocket launcher just waiting to shoot me in the face. So now we gave him some damage there, which had to be frustrating. And then after that, it's just jump up and hit a good pump shot. Again, the theme of this game, there's a lot of mistakes that I made, but on the positive side, you hit your pump shots, you win games. And then after that, we know where we are. We rotate early. You pick up the mythic minigun, and then you do mythic minigun things because that's what it's in the game for. Here I know where the final people are. I figured I'd just zoom past them a little bit quicker. We dropped the AR for the minigun because we're not good with ARs. So we have the minigun, we have the sniper. We know we're at the edge of a storm. We know we can hold them, and from here on out, it's already a one game. It's just a matter of playing it through. Mythic minigun time. Nothing you can do about it. This is kind of funny because I apparently like shooting my own ramp. Case once wasn't enough, I had to do it twice. This is it. Like, I think it's a mistake some teams will make with a mythic minigun. Like, sure, it doesn't do like good damage from afar. Like, I don't know how far away that person is. Like, let's assume they're 70 meters. Like, I'm gonna hit like 12 damage, but I'm gonna hit like all the 12 damage. Like, the crosshair is small. I'm gonna do minimal damage, but like, I don't know. You hit 10, 21 shots, right? At this point, we just apply pressure, use a mythic minigun, and win the game. And that's kind of my first spot review of 11 mistakes that you can make while also getting an 11 kill solo win.